cooking, though gourmet, is always about comfort cooking. In our house, curries hold the uppermost importance on this entire list. When creating curries, my rendang curry is a curry that happens with ingredients readily available and super fast. Though spicy, you can use any meat to choose your preference. However, I'm creating this with tenderloin and sweet potatoes, perfect match to a great curry. For this, all you need is a food processor or a mixie jar just to blitz everything together. So out here I've got 15 dehydrated chilies, the Kashmiri kind that I've soaked in hot water, and they go bang into my blender along with about 1/3 cup of dried coconut or preferably desiccated coconut. With the coconut going in, now comes about adding all the spices. So a teaspoon of cinnamon powder, 1/4 teaspoon of clove powder, 1 teaspoon of green cardamom powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg powder. This is heavily spiced and has all the flavors through and through. About 8 to 10 cloves of garlic, an inch of ginger, and an inch of Indonesian ginger. That's the gorgeous and beautiful Galangal. Put that in, and it's about time just to blitz all this together. And the spice blend is ready. With the most difficult part done, now comes the great part of making this curry. Out here I'm ensuring that the cast iron is simmering hot. So into that goes nearly 30 mils of regular cooking oil. If you want to fancy this up, just add some toasted sesame oil to get another flavor coming through. 1 kg of tenderloin cubes going in just to sear and brown. Searing the meat always locks in the flavor and gets it nice and juicy. So while I'm using fillet, this cooks really fast. So searing this till it gets that brown in color is all that's required before creating that robust gravy. Well seared, and when you're searing the meat, if at times you see too much of liquid coming out, don't be alarmed, just reserve the liquid on the side because that can go in this gorgeous gravy. So well seared, we're just going to take it out and set it on the side and get to sauteing that paste that we created. Into the pot now goes another 20 mils of regular cooking oil and a licoricey goodness of star anise. So I love star anise, and this is the true star. So use nearly 2 or 3 of them. Allow it to sweat, leave out all its licoricey goodness, along with a stalk of lemongrass, finely cut, some ginger, that's the Indonesian ginger, the Galangal ginger, and fresh turmeric. So I'm using loads of it cut into juliennes. A quick stir of all this. And this is my version that works every time and keeps everybody at home the most happiest. So saute this for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes before adding that glorious paste into it. For me, it's food porn how turmeric stains everything. Though a nightmare, it's really something that's beautiful to look at. In goes that gorgeous rendang paste that we created, bursting with all the spices that everybody has readily available in the kitchen. Now you saute this till it gets to nearly 4 shades darker. Darker the color, the more flavorful the rendang. Nearly 4 shades darker. Now into this goes the seared meat. Give it a quick stir so that the meat and the spice blend get to having a very happy marriage. Don't mind me, I keep using all these terminologies when I cook. That's how cooking for me is. So, a quick stir. Into this, I'm going to add a chunk of some glorious jaggery, preferably Palm Jaggery that's dark brown in color. Nearly a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of some good imli paste or the glorious tamarind paste. Saute everything together. Allow it to sweat a little with each other so that the flavors start merging. And something that I love about Asian cooking, and that's Kaffir lime. So out here I've got the leaves of Kaffir lime. Nearly 6 of them, and I've shredded them and I'm just sprinkling them on top. This for me is one of my top 5 herbs that I enjoy cooking with. A quick stir for another minute to a minute and a half before just adding in some hot water. 1.5 cup of hot water. And why do you use hot water? I'm sure by now everybody knows that, so that the meat doesn't lose its temperature and get tough. Look at that gorgeous color coming together. And not forgetting the searing liquor that we had created, so that goes in as well. Finally, a quick sprinkling of some regular iodized salt just to season this mix, along with 2 quintessential ingredients that are so very Asian in nature. Some gorgeous fish sauce, just splash in. Now out here you can use a tablespoon of shrimp paste as well, but because extremely allergic, I'm going a little overboard with the fish sauce. So that's another replacement, along with some light soy sauce, so a squirt or 2 of it. And all we're going to do is bring this to a boil and allow it to simmer for a good 20 minutes before we add in that sweet potatoes. For me, rendang always requires to be cooked in layers and slow cooking it. So the first 20 minutes for this tenderloin fillet to cook perfectly well, simmered, covered, and then we add the sweet potato in. 20 minutes up and another 20 to go. Now's the time to add the sweet potato in. So nearly 500 grams of sweet potato cut into wedges. Put that in. Avoid a splash. If you're clumsy as me, it's perfectly okay. Give this a quick stir. And we're going to cover this back and allow it to cook for anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. You want the sweet potato to hold its shape, but the meat to cook perfectly well as well. So a quick stir and the color is beautiful. It's time to cover this girl back up. 20 minutes and with the sweet potato nearly done. Now be careful because this is going to splatter like hell. The meat and the potato is cooked perfectly well, and this is the right way to enjoy a rendang, where the sauce is thick and atop rice, it's perfect. However, I want this to be more creamy and not so heavily spiced. So into this goes 400 mils of coconut milk, styling it to the next level. I'm just going to give it one boil and switch the heat off. A quick stir, slightly a messy gravy, and does create some kind of havoc in your kitchen, but the flavors are perfect to have either with some steamed rice, or if you have any leftover rice present, just use it and create a perfect egg fried rice. One boil and switch off the flame and just sprinkle it with about a tablespoon of finely chopped coriander. Totally optional. if you're obsessed like me, you can also add some Kaffir lime leaves on top. This gravy is perfect and so stylish, messy but amazing to create, and it's a flavor that we enjoy day in and day out. I hope you enjoyed creating a twisted version to a classical rendang. The flavors are sharp and sweet potato does create a little bit of magic with the tenderloin. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button. Stay safe, stay blessed, put a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe.